It's entirely up to you how thorough you want to be, but I do recommend getting some delicate task wipes and some isopropyl alcohol just to rub down your PCB. So I'm just going to give this a wipe down now, just a little bit on there. Just to get that dust and skin oils off. Flip it on the other side here. Give that one a quick wipe down. And we're all done. So once you're done cleaning that one down, get your bill of materials. I'll link that down in the description below. So it'll be linked to NWAV Guy's website. So you'll click on it and open it as a Word document, or a PDF maybe, I think. And have a look at these little references here. So this was really your guide to what components you're going to be putting on the board. So if you have a look on your bill of materials, it'll say, for example, R25. So we'll have a look at it now, bill of materials, and that'll say a 1/8 watt resistor. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that one in there, and we'll bend the leads out on the other side. And we'll continue to do that for all these other smaller, low-profile components until we're ready to solder. I'm going to start out by stuffing the board with the lowest profile components, because if you use the largest components first, then you have to squeeze in all the smaller profile components around the larger ones and solder in between the large ones, and that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So we'll start with the small ones first, and then we'll put the bigger stuff on towards the end. So just a bit of a tip, because I'm a stickler for detail. Some people use these things, which are component forming tools, and they allow you to place the body of the component in the middle here and feed the leads through either of these grooves either side, and just bend them down so that really that component is centered in the middle and the legs are bent down on an even length on either side. These are unfortunately too large for most things on this board, but what you can do is use a pair of pointy nose pliers. Now these are a bit rusty, these ones, so they're not great. So this is why I can clean the legs off, why I clean the leads off on my components before I actually stuff them into the board. But you can actually place this, above a hole somewhere here, and find out where along the jaws would be the best length to bend at either side, and just fit it in the middle there and bend the legs either side. And you can see that's got a bit more of a taper to it than that, so it's a lot easier for these smaller components. Just use a pair of pointy nose pliers. So I've decided to stuff this component first, which is a 220 picofarad stacked cap. And you can see the C11, C12, C19 and C20 reference there. So here's where those components are, just to make it easy for you. So you can see them here. So 11, 12, 19 and 20. And I've also put the R25, I think it was, which is 1/4 watt resistor. So that one there is just down the bottom here, which is R25. Okay, so the next one I've done is C16 and C21, which is a 0.022 microfarad ceramic cap. They are blue coloured and they're just down here. That's C21 and that's C16. So the next one is C1, which is a 1 microfarad MLC cap, and that little guy's just there, C21. Okay, so the next one I've done is the 1 ohm 1/4 watt resistors. There are 4 of those, here, here, here and here. So we have a 270 kilo ohm 1/8 watt resistor. There are 4 of these, so there's 3 across here and just 1 over here. R9 is a 33 kilo ohm 1/8 watt resistor, and that one is just there. R16 and R22 are a 1.5 kilo ohm by 1/8 watt resistors. There are 2 of them. There's one here and one here. R17 and R21 are 1 kilo ohm 1/8 watt resistors. So those two are here and here. Be careful with these ones. The legs are quite stiff on them despite their smaller size, and when you're bending them close to the body of the resistor, be sure not to bend it too close to the body because you might crack the resistor itself. So we have R6, 12 and 13, which are 40.2 kilo ohm by 1/8 watt resistors. So there you have 12 and 13, and there's R6. So we have R3, R7, R19 and R23. They are 274 ohm by 1/8 watt resistors. So you can see them here, 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 and here. R14 and R20, which are 10 kilo ohm 1/8 watt resistors. So you can see those two, which have a red coloration, there and there. So just to give you an idea of how this forming tool works, I've got a big 1 watt resistor here, and we've placed it in the middle there, and all we do is just push that lead down. I've done the other on the other side, so when we take it out, you can see that it's perfectly in the middle there on either side. So when we plug that straight into the board here, should line up perfectly and just slot straight in. And it's right in the middle there, which is really quite handy. R1 and R2 are 220 ohm 1 watt resistors. They're quite large. They're down the bottom here, 1 and 2. Once you've got your smaller capacitors and your resistors stuffed into the board, you're going to have their leads poking through and you'll have a bit of a mess that looks like this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clip these leads. So you can see that I've bent them out probably around, I don't know, some of these are a bit more than 45 degrees, but really they shouldn't be bent out any more than about 30 degrees. So we're going to go clip these about 1 wire's length away from the PCB. So I'll probably do that by clipping off one of these leads here and then laying it down on the board this way, and then just getting the right height above there and clipping it off. And then I'm going to bend the remainder of the lead in the direction of the trace. So you can see there's a trace here. So I'd clip this one off about here, and then I'll bend it over in this direction. And the reason we do that is so that when we're soldering, we're not having to heat up this whole lead here, potentially damaging the component on the other side. So we clip that off nice and short, bend it in the direction of the trace, and then when we heat it up we can solder it pretty quickly.